Welcome to Game and a Half Podcast, the only podcast that gives you everything in gaming. I'm Kai.
My name is Jared.
And today we're going to be looking at the list that was released about the 2019 Game Awards, the nominees, the surprises, the shocking outcomes, and later we're also going to be giving you our Game of the Year list, and that is completely based on the games that we have played this year. And we don't know each other's list of.
We don't know each other.
We don't know each other at all, but we're gonna compare our lists and see our lists are the same because we play games together.
Yeah, our lists are the same. We just decided to order them in obviously least to greatest, being a number one game of the year, and our last one. We both have the same list of games, but we ordered them in different, or maybe we ordered them in the same.
That would be
interesting.
Shocking.
Well, I can already tell what our last one's going to be because I think I already know. Anyways, so the Game Awards nominees are out. You can see all the categories, but we're going to start with, at the bottom here, the best esports game. So the nominees for best esports game is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Overwatch. So Kai, what do you think? What's your guess on? I already know what mine is because I think
I'm gonna say.
I think it's really between
League. No, probably not. Maybe Dota. I have no idea, honestly.
Well,
the issue is that Blizzard shouldn't.
Just because it's Blizzard.
For a multitude of political reasons. League has been around a long time.
The problem with Blizzard, it's like Blizzard as a company did something terrible, but the people developing these games are just associated with Blizzard, so they also have to suffer, even though it's like they put work into this game too.
Overwatch is good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think Fortnite should win.
I don't think Fortnite should
personally.
I don't know. I mean...
But they had the largest prize this year, right?
The prize pool, yeah.
2 million that kid won.
It was something like that, which is crazy. But I mean, I know Counter-Strike, Dota 2, and League of Legends are the big kind of conglomerate of esports games that have been around, and now we're seeing Fortnite, Overwatch, and I think Apex is starting to get some
I would imagine
competitions going. I don't think there's been any big esports competitions for Apex yet, but I know it's on the rise because I can see.
If you had to choose one of these to win, what would it be?
I think it's gonna be Dota 2. I think Dota is still extremely popular compared to all of these games. Mm-hmm. Either that or League.
I'm gonna go with Fortnite.
Really, I definitely think Fortnite has a chance just because of all the popularity. It's still going on. It still had this. Well, I'm just
gonna go based on impact because I have no idea how they're actually judging what the esports category is judged by.
Yeah, I don't know if that's prize pool, if it's views competitive wise, people watching the competitions, people participating in the competitions. I don't know how they're actually judging this, or. Well, actually, I do know how they're judging this because you can go on to GameAwards.com and just sign in with your Twitter or Facebook and pick one of them. So
which is a broken system.
And I was actually curious about this because I don't know how these works, like the Oscars and stuff like that. How are those
so
picked?
The Oscars and the Grammys both have the same selection process, which is people who work within the industry are given the ability to vote. So I have professors who are sent all the copies of the films that will be judged for the Oscars, and then they get to decide which one should win each category. So actors and each subset of persons. So if you're if you were an esports developer or if you were an esports player and you were voting for best esports player of that year, that's how that would work. It's not like a creative director would get to vote for an esports player. Mm-hmm. So if you're a director or an actor or producer, you vote for your segment of the industry. Or if you're, for Grammys, if you're a musician, you vote for best musician of that year. If you're a producer, you vote for best producer. And then there's an overall vote for the larger categories, which is the best, the best album of the year, or the best song of the year, or the best film of the year, et cetera, et cetera. But it's interesting that this is community.
Yeah, and I found out there's another Game Awards that happens in February called the DICE Game Awards, and that is actually voted upon by people, developers, and people in the gaming community. So it'll be, I don't know, it'll be like press or people that monitor press, or it'll be developers, or
But I mean, this is the one that people care about.
No, this is the one that I think gets the most popularity. I think is because it's so like interactive. Like you can choose which games you like you have impact on it and stuff like that. But the other one, I mean, there is probably some skewed numbers in here where it's just like people could not have played any of these other games and like just played Overwatch.
Well, I mean, like Fortnite is a perfect example. Most likely more people play Fortnite. Whether it's actually the best esports game, is up for debate, but the amount of people who would vote for it based solely on that's what they play, I think is a skewed,
Right, exactly.
Which is why I'm going to go for Fortnite.
Right. Okay, so the next category on here is Best Multiplayer Game. So the nominees for Best Multiplayer Game of the Year are Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I think I already know what
It's 2019, and Tetris 99 is under
Best
Multiplayer Game.
Yes! That's amazing.
Oh, God.
It is hilarious that Tetris 99... And it's weird because it's a multiplayer game, but it's a single-player game at the same time. You play with other people, but I don't think there's, like, a matchmaking system. Like, I don't think you can get into lobbies with friends and play games like that. So it's funny that that Tetris 99 is in here. I mean, I know my answer. What is here?
I would go Apex Legends.
Yeah, I'm going Apex as well. The only game I haven't played, I played the Division 2 beta. The only game I haven't played in this is Modern Warfare. No, actually, I played the Modern Warfare 2, the Modern Warfare beta as well. It's different. I know when the multiplayer first came out and the game first came out, people were skeptical because in the last couple, Black Ops and Infinity War and stuff like that, it was very much like a run and gun kind of game, where this one is leaning more towards like the Rainbow Six, more strategical kind of shooting. It's a lot slower, and it took people a while to kind of transition into that style of gameplay. But Respawn has been killing it with Apex Legends, and so I think that has been.
I just don't know if like under multiplayer game, if that's the I mean, Apex is incredible, don't get me wrong, but is it the best multiplayer game? I mean, Borderlands has local multiplayer. As far as the mechanic of multiplayer itself, like Tetris is incredible with how it utilizes, multiple players into a platform that never had multiple players.
Well, and all these games do multiplayer in a different way. I mean, Apex is just kind of this either threes or singles battle royale. We have Tetris 99, which is another battle royale game. We have Borderlands 3, which is a very much action adventure kind of game. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which they're just specifically looking at the multiplayer, not even focusing on the single player aspect. And then Tom Clancy's The Division is more of a cooperative experience like Borderlands 3, and it's like an action adventure cooperative game. So a lot of these are like multiplayer shooters that are competitive, and some are, I guess they can also be cooperative, but some are more cooperative than others. I don't know. I think Apex is done. I mean, in Apex, Apex is the only free-to-play game on this list, because Tetris 99, you still have to have the Nintendo subscription service to even play Tetris 99. Yeah. So with it being even the only free-to-play game on here, I think it definitely has...
All right, so what is your determination? Apex?
Okay, I'm going Apex. Apex is doing best multiplayer.
I'm going to go Tetris.
You're going to go Tetris 9? I hope you're right. I hope Tetris wins, beats Call of Duty and Apex Legends. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. All right.
Next category is best... Oh, this is the most exciting one. Best sports and racing game. Every year, people are just like, racing games? Because racing games really don't get any popularity. But... Right. So this is sports and racing. So the nominees are Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Dirt Rally 2.0, eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, F1 2019, and FIFA 20.
Two soccer games, mind you.
I've played none of these games. So I don't play sports games, and I occasionally play racing game. I like the Forza Horizon games, a more open kind of aspect on racing.
So then this gets to be a complete guess category where we determine...
Well, I think I know which one's going to win. It's going to be FIFA. Like, FIFA is... It's crazy how popular FIFA is. Like, out of all these sports games, like Madden and everything, FIFA is incredible. Well, I think it's more popular because it's like everyone around the world is playing this, and it's soccer, which is something that's played around the world as well.
All right, so you're going with FIFA?
I'm going 100%. I think
I'm going to go... eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020.
PES.
Yeah.
PES by Konami.
And that is solely based on that I would have chosen FIFA, so...
So you just changing it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll skip because we don't have much to say about that one. Best strategy game.
Another topic we're not going to have much to say.
So this is Age of Wonders Planetfall, which is on Xbox Game Pass,
Yeah.
so we can always check this one out. I'm not much into strategy games, but Anno 1800, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Total War 3 Kingdoms, Tropica 6, and Wargroove. As much as I would love... For one, this is the only category that Fire Emblem got in Game Awards. People were kind of upset because this was the only category it got. It didn't get Best Narrative. It didn't get Best Story.
Well, they got all the characters in Smash, so, it's fine.
But it would... I've never been huge on strategy games, but it'd be really cool to see Fire Emblem win this. Wargroove's cool because Wargroove's kind of like... a nod on... Oh, gosh, what was that game called? I don't remember. There's it's
our new podcast called I Don't Remember. Two people struggle to remember something and have to pull it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Long pauses of silence.
So while I do this, what do you think is going to...
I am going to go with... Once again, I have never played any of these games. I've only seen things on a few of them. I'm going to go 100% based on name. I'm going to go Wargroove as the winner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Advance Wars. So Advance Wars was a game, I think, on Game Boy Advance. It was very similar to the style of Wargroove. Wargroove is kind of a spiritual successor of Advance Wars.
Lit. I'm going to go with Wargroove only because the developer's name is Chucklefish, which is incredible.
And sticking to my Nintendo roots, I'm going to pick Fire Emblem 3 Houses, even though I've never played Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but I haven't played any of these games, so it doesn't matter.
Now on to a category we can actually talk about.
So this one's interesting because this is Best Family Game, and here, I'll read you the nominees. So it's Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros., and Yoshi's Crafted World. Do you see a theme here? See a theme? They're all Nintendo games.
Well,
every single one's a Nintendo
You know
game.
what, though? Nintendo knows they're at least going to take one award this year.
Yeah, there you go. So this is interesting, and I was reading a podcast. I was listening to a podcast.
I was reading a podcast.
On this, and they said it was interesting that Ring Fit is in this, and with all the advertising around Ring Fit, it shows like someone working out and like the family around, but everyone that's used it's like, I'm not gonna work out and use this in front of my family. Like, this is something I use by myself in the comfort of my house, not around my family. Like, it's less of a party game and more of an actual, like, use this to keep a consistent workout or start a consistent workout and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see Ring Fit Adventure on here.
Well, neither is like Super Mario Maker 2.
Well, yeah, and Super Mario Maker, because that's a game that just got multiplayer. And the multiplayer isn't super fleshed out. I mean, you can kind of both build levels together. You can do that cooperatively, and then you can do like competitive runs with like up to 4 people, and like whoever can finish the level first kind of thing. But I mean, I think I have to give this one to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, I feel like that's like it's the party game, you know. That's like what I remember having like large groups.
When did
of
Mario
people.
Party come out? 2018.
Yes, I think Mario Party came out, but Smash Bros. Came out in 2018 as well. But so Smash Bros. is on a couple of these things because it was too late at the end of 2019 to be on the end of 2018 to be on the 2018 Game Awards. So a lot of times games like that get pushed. Like Pokemon and Star Wars aren't in the running at all for this Game of the Year because they came out too late. They had given press and people opportunity to pick the games before these games had come out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going Super Smash Bros. I think that's gonna win Best Family Game.
I also think that's gonna win, but I'm gonna go.
You can agree with me.
I could, but then where's the fun in that? I'm gonna go.
You should just say Ring Fit Adventure.
No.
You should actually vote. You just have to sign in with your Facebook or Twitter.
I'll vote. I don't have any of those things, but you need your Gmail, which is fine.
You should actually vote because it'll be.
I'm gonna go Yoshi's Crafted World.
Good feel and Nintendo. Okay. Next category is Best Fighting Game. So the nominees for Best Fighting Game are Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, and shocker, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
And I think there's two really close for me. Mortal Kombat 11 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Both those games were fantastic. I love anime, but Jump Force was not a good game. It was not a good game. It wasn't like
Psyche K.
Exactly. There's no Psyche K. I really liked what was the last one called? J-Stars.
J-Stars.
J-Stars was fun. And I didn't think I mean, I think the art style is cool in Jump Force, but it's just so like wonky. The controls are just it's just not fun. It doesn't seem like fluid like Mortal Kombat and Super Smash Brothers does. And I think just to mix things up. Actually, I don't know what you're gonna pick, but so I'll let you decide first, and then I'll give my decision.
Okay, I will choose Mortal Kombat 11 as the winner this year.
If you picked Smash, I would have picked Mortal Kombat 11. Because I think both of those definitely have potential to be... Because they were great. In Mortal Kombat 11, they've introduced a lot of characters that were in previous games. I mean, there's a lot of more like outfit customizability in this game.
So Smash just became the most successful fighting game franchise of all time.
Passed up Street Fighter 2, which isn't on this list.
All right, so the next list that we're going to be talking about is Best RPGs, which includes Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World...
I lied, that's 14.
14, Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and The Outer Worlds.
I mean... I haven't played... The only game out of this list that I played is The Outer Worlds. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3. I like Kingdom Hearts. Is it a good RPG? I wouldn't say so. It's not great. I heard Monster Hunter World's a really good game. That's another game on Game Pass that we could check out. Final Fantasy 14 is one of those like MMORPGs, which is like the online multiplayer. I don't know anything about Disco Elysium at all. But I'll let you decide first.
No, I decided first last time.
Okay.
You go first.
I'm going to pick The Outer Worlds.
And I will go with Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Okay. I think those two are probably going to be kind of the runner-ups or neck and neck, because I listening to a lot of people's opinions that like are like die-hard Kingdom Hearts 3 fans. They're like, it's not the best RPG. They love it because they've been with Kingdom Hearts for so long, and they love it. But a lot of people are like, it took them like 10 years to get another game out, and like this is what we got. And it's like, it wasn't great. It wasn't what people expected. So, okay, Outer Worlds for me, Monster Hunter World for Kai. Next is Best Action Adventure Game, and the nominees are Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I think it's interesting that
it's a reflection of the top category. I know, is the best action adventure game.
It really is. But I think it's funny that Link's Awakening got in here as well,
next to Sekiro and Resident Evil.
Right.
I will say that if Death Stranding wins Game of the Year, they probably won't win Best Action Adventure, and if they don't, they most likely will win Action Adventure.
So you think it'll be one or the other?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the only game in this that we've played, Kelly, is Borderlands 3.
I mean, we know, like, these are super popular titles.
Oh, yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know a lot about Death Stranding and Control, and
it's so interesting because Death Stranding, again, we talked about this in previous podcasts. It's very much a artistic experience. The gameplay is not necessarily what some might think is being fun, or the idea of like what a video game is, but it's something different. It's like it's out there. It's different. It's definitely more narrative heavy than anything else. And you could see that even with Kojima's, like, when he was talking about wanting to go into film, you could see that this is like him he's trying to get into film. This is his baby steps into it. And then Resident Evil 2, from what I've seen in the community, was an amazing remake of I played a little bit of the beta, not a lot. I haven't played the original. I didn't play enough of the beta to give much of an opinion. It looks beautiful. It's a beautiful looking game, but one thing I know for sure is it's not Borderlands 3. That's so sad to say. I remember just a couple of episodes ago, we were so excited and pumped for Borderlands 3, and it's fun.
Is it Best Action Adventure Game? I'm going to go with Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
I was going to say Sekiro. That's a game we need to get, because that game looks so much fun. I want to go with Resident Evil 2. I think that one definitely has potential. That and Death Stranding, but I'll go with Resident Evil 2.
The next category is Best Action Game. up for election is Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Woo! Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, Woo! And Metro Exodus.
Oh, Metro. So many people forgot about that game. Another game that's on Game Pass that we can check out.
It's just an advertisement for Game Pass.
Get Game Pass now. Game Pass Ultimate comes with Xbox Live and Game Pass, which has over 100 games on it. This episode's sponsored by Game Pass.
Jesus Christ.
I really want to play Devil May Cry 5. I haven't played that game, and I've seen gameplay and playthroughs of it, and it looks like so much fun. It's just very over the top, and it's beautiful looking game artistically, and I don't know. I think Call of Duty might take this, like with its story mode. Like people were saying, like playing Call of Duty in their story mode, this is the best.
I would agree with you.
The best animations that they've ever seen in a video game before. Like best facial animation, and the story is really compelling.
But is that what makes it a good action game?
No, not only. I mean, well, I think so, because having characters that are convincing and in their, performance as a voice actor, but visually you can connect with these characters because they look really realistic. There's a small earthquake happening in our studio. But I think this game also just went back to the roots of Call of Duty, kind of pushing the boundaries of like people's being comfortable with things that are happening. Weird way to explain it. But like in Modern Warfare 2, when you had the level where you went into the airport and you just shot all the civilians, like that kind of shock value is what they were going for. And I think that is really going to push Call of Duty's place in winning action game. That kind of breaking the boundaries of what makes people comfortable. I'm going with Call of Duty. Actually, I voted last time. You can go. So you can pick Call of Duty if you'd like.
I don't know. I'm going to go with Devil May Cry 5.
If you've seen any Devil May Cry 5 gameplay, it's 90% action. Like, it's like crazy combos of like juggling enemies in the air and stuff like that. It's intense. See, no Apex? You know Apex?
I don't think it deserves action game.
Yeah. I think their trailers look really actiony, but that stuff where they're like jumping off and spinning and getting headshots and stuff like that doesn't actually happen. At least with us. That doesn't happen when we play.
Yeah. Okay,
next category is best VR/AR game. They listen to our podcast about VR and AR.
Yeah, clearly.
Is Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, and Trover Saves the Universe.
I can't believe someone named a game Beat Saber.
It's like, you ever seen any gameplay on Beat Saber?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that there's two really strong ones in there. Well, I actually don't know the other two, but Beat Saber is really popular game. Mm-hmm. I know that. No Man's Sky was already a really popular game. They added VR to it.
I just don't know if it's the best VR AR experience,
but
because it wasn't built to be VR AR.
Right.
You know.
That's true.
I don't know.
But I think Trover Saves the Universe is going to be best VR game because that's the Rick and Morty team.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go with Beat Saber because I think culturally people are going to vote for that more than any of these.
You know who created Beat Saber?
Beat Games.
Really, really pushing the boundaries with the titles there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so the next category is Best Community Support. And it's Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Community support.
I'm gonna 100% go with Apex Legends. I don't know what community support is referring to, whether it's the developer supporting the game
community
after
or
release, or the community supporting the game. Because it's either Apex Legends for Respawn's and EA's job supporting the game, or it's Fortnite for the incredible fan base that they have that has shaped culture. So I don't know which.
Yeah, I'll agree with both of that. I don't know what they're meaning by community support. It could go either way. But for the sense of having two different answers, I'll say Fortnite is going to win Best Community,
and
I assume you're going to pick Apex.
Yeah,
easy one. Next is Best Mobile Game. This is an interesting one. We have Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky, The Children of Light, and What the Golf.
Call of Duty 100%.
Yeah.
Like mind-blowing leaps forward in mobile gaming. So.
Right. I mean, if you, like... said 5 years ago that you'd be playing, because there's a lot of first-person shooter games on mobile. They're just garbage. Like they suck. Like, and this is not only like mechanically a good Call of Duty game, but it just feels like a Call of Duty game. Like you have all the maps, you have kind of all the guns that are in the Call of Duty universe. You have maps from different games and everything like that. And I mean, touch controls aren't great. And I actually don't know if this game supports controller support yet. They were talking about, especially with the first-person shooters, keeping the kind of skill-based level. Because if you have someone that has to use touch controls versus someone that does have Bluetooth controller support, there is kind of an imbalance there. So I don't know what their plan is with that. The only problem with Call of Duty Mobile is there's been a lot of talk around like their loot boxes and everything. Mm-hmm. Don't mind me, I'm dying over here. And I didn't bring my water in here. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff saying that their loot boxes are unfair, that it's people are putting like crazy copious amounts of money into them. I mean, normal loot box talk. But I don't think that should push people's opinions off it. If you haven't played Call of Duty Mobile, it's free on both Android and iPhone, so check it out. It's really fun. I enjoy it a lot. But yeah, I pick Call of Duty.
God damn it. Okay.
Pick one of the other ones you don't know. The golf's really fun. That's on Switch too.
No. I'm gonna go with Sky Children of Light.
Is that the one that's only on the Apple?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So I know there was one that Apple was making that was on here.
All right.
Next.
Best independent game.
Ooh, your favorite.
Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, and Untitled Goose Game.
So you can't tell by Kyle's clear change in vocals that...
It was a perfect game.
And how much we've talked about the Outer Wilds on this podcast. The Outer Wilds is amazing, and I definitely think...
Perfect game.
I really want Outer Wilds to win Best Indie Game.
This is the one category where we can both select the same.
You think so?
Because I don't think it'll win, but I think we both want it to win.
And I think Untitled Goose Game got a lot of
press.
This game's really fun. It's really cool, but it didn't do anything like mind blowing mechanically. I mean, it was a fun game and it's cute and quirky and everything like that. You play an asshole duck or goose.
How dare you?
but Outer Wilds was so good.
So good.
And Katana Zero had the mechanic where you can change between 16-bit and 8-bit and 16-bit, and that changed kind of the platforming. And Baba Was You was interesting because it kind of aesthetically looks like Undertale in its simplistic art style. And what you do is you move words around and that changes the aspect of the game. So if you're it's kind of like a Mario where you have to get from one side of the level to the other side of the level. And if you put you have to get to the flag, and you put Baba Is You, and it's you is flag, and then you're the flag, and you get to the flag automatically. And it's things like that, or there's a rock in your way, and you can put rock is wall or move, and it changes the dynamic of the gameplay depending on the wording that you choose. So that was really cool. And those games had new innovative gameplay.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Untitled Goose Game, but Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds.
It's gonna win.
The next list is something else.
It's best ongoing game. I'm slowly turning into a 60-year-old smoker the longer the podcast goes on.
Also, I'm the one with congestion right now, and Jared can't even talk, so...
I can't, supposedly. Oh, best ongoing game. So, the nominees for best ongoing game are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, sorry. I don't know. Best ongoing. It's hard because Apex just came out this year, so it's different.
It's not really. Also, on this list, they forgot to list EA. So get your shit together, IGN.
Oh, for
just Respawn.
It might just be developer, not.
No, because it says Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft at the bottom.
They might have both worked on it, because some of these other games don't have... Well, actually, I don't know.
Apex Legends previously has EA next to their name.
That's true.
On Best Community Support, it says Respawn/EA, and on this one, it just says Respawn.
You're right. Yeah, it's hard for Apex. I mean, they've done a great job since they've released this game.
Yeah.
But it's hard to go up against something like Fortnite, that's had years of ongoing support.
Yeah.
And it's continued to be popular like year after year.
I think Fortnite's gonna take this 100%.
So it's hard. As much as I love Apex, I don't think Apex is gonna win best ongoing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Fortnite as well. But for the sake of being different.
No, you can have Fortnite.
We're going. Oh,
well, we have to be different now.
Okay.
Okay, you can have Fortnite. I will take Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege because
You think that's been a better ongoing game than Destiny 2?
Yes. Yes, I do. Games for Impact.
This is an interesting one.
Which I don't understand.
These, and I think they described this as being games that dived into deeper, more, not controversial topics, but more topics about, like, our existence, emotions, mental disorders, anxieties, like stuff that's about, like that. Impactful on the community.
So the options are Concrete Genie, Gris or Grease, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, Sea of Solitude.
And I don't know about many of these games, but remember Sea of Solitude was the one I showed you, and it was like the girl, and she's like escaping like the monsters, and the monsters are like cultivation of her like anxiety and stuff that.
And I know Life is Strange. I've seen gameplay on that.
Yeah, it's similar. Grease, I really want this game to come to Game Pass because it's a gorgeous looking game. Like, it's beautiful. I don't know the story to it. Concrete Genie is kind of like deals with this kid and him being bullied and stuff like that, and then he has like this magic like paintbrush, and he like draws these creatures, and these creatures are his friends, and then like you use that to kind of bring this like destroyed dystopian gray city back to life with all your art and stuff like that.
What's the game that we played this year that was the kid with the paintbrush?
Oh,
who
Max
saved his brother?
Brotherhood.
Max is the cursed brother.
Yeah. Paintbrush games.
Paintbrush games, very popular mechanic.
Yeah. So, but with this one, it's like you're always there's not a lot of combat, but you get into like these fights with like bullies, and they try to like rip up your paintings and stuff like that, and you have to deal with kind of that anxiety and that as well. So, I'm gonna let you choose since I.
All right, I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Concrete Genie.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Grease because I've heard so many people talk about Grease, and
okay.
Next is Best Performance. So these are voice actors performing in games. We have Ashley Birch as Pavarti in The Outer Worlds.
Absolutely not.
I love Pavarti.
No.
Ashley. Good job, Ashley. We have Courtney Hopp as Jessie Faden in Control. So she's the main character in Control. We have Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz in Gears 5, main character in Gears of War 5. We have Mads Mikkelsen in Death Stranding. Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. And Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding. Now, I feel like the two that are probably going to win are either Mads Mikkelsen or Norman Reedus. Just because they're celebrities.
I think it would be really cool, though, if, like... I mean, unfortunately, I've never played Death Stranding, so I can't really make a determination of how good the performance is. But like, right. I think it says something if someone in the video game industry wins. You know?
Right, and that's another thing. And we talked about this as well with a lot of like this incorporation of like celebrities or actors in, and it's like they're in because of their popularity, not because they're good voice actors by any means, but because they're.
I'm gonna say because of how this is a popularity contest, I'm going with Norman Reedus.
My popularity, what I think is going to happen answer is going to be Mads Mikkelsen, but my want answer is going to be Ashley Birch for Pavarti.
Oh, Pavarti.
You do a good job of just being awkward and weird, and I love it so much.
All right, best audio design category is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Control, Death Stranding, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
This is such a hard category, because unless you've played these games, it's really
I'm going to go Death Stranding. It's not that hard. Because they, for the audio design, trying to tell that story and make it interesting, I'm going to... Like, I think that's the thing, is that, once again, it depends on what Death Stranding wins, because it's either Death Stranding or Control. Because, like, Call of Duty hasn't really done anything interesting with audio design based on the beta. Resident Evil 2 was based on a previous game.
Yeah, but it was a game that was completely made from like the ground up, essentially, as like a new game. They kept the story, but they completely changed just kind of the.
Gears 5, no.
I think Sekiro has a.
Sekiro, possibly.
potential.
It's between Death Stranding, Control, and Sekiro. And I just think.
Did you vote first and last one, or I did?
I voted for the last one, so you get to choose now.
I'm gonna go with Sekiro. I think Sekiro, just from what I've watched, the very subtle kind of like background music in that game and the design of like the weapons clinging together and everything like that. Your like grapple hook, I think all that's really good. And again, I'm listening to this through a YouTube video, so
You're not really getting the whole experience.
yeah. But I think Sekiro is gonna win best.
I'm gonna go Control to keep things interesting.
Cool. Best score / music
Kind of the same thing.
is Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. So what's interesting about these games is 2 of them are audio games, they're music games. Like Sayonara Wild Hearts is a game.
In another Annapurna game, mind you.
Where the mechanics are based off of the music that's playing. And same with Cadence of Hyrule. So with Cadence of Hyrule is a spin-off of Crypt of the Necrodancer, where enemy movement and attack patterns is based off of the tempo of the songs that are playing. And they got the rights to do that with Zelda, so there's a bunch of Zelda music and enemies, and how you move around the world and fight enemies is going with the tempo of each song that's playing. So it's interesting because 2 of these games are the main mechanic and the main way you play this game is through the music.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. And I mean, Devil May Cry has a lot of like insane, crazy, like hardcore, like a lot of drums, a lot of screaming, and stuff like that.
I
don't know, like I've only seen gameplay clips of Death Stranding. I don't know what the music's like.
Okay, also, Death Stranding makes it in almost every category, which is...
It's not shocking.
It's not shocking, but is it deserving of every category?
I mean, it was popular. Like it's what people are talking about right now. So I think that's why it's we've been seeing it so much. But I went with the last one, so I have to let Kai decide this time.
I'm gonna go Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Well, and then I'm gonna pick the other music game. I'm gonna go with Cadence of Hyrule because I mean Nintendo, Zelda. I mean, how can I not? I really want to play this game because I love Zelda music so much. So
all right, and then the next game category is Best Art Direction, and the options are Control, Death Stranding, shocking, Grease, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
I was just showing you screenshots of Sayonara Wild Hearts so you can see the art direction of Sayonara Wild Hearts.
It's definitely very indie and interesting.
Yeah. You had a motorcycle and like this music that you like jump from your motorcycle to other people's motorcycles and you're fighting people and like doing tricks off of it and like. But this is the art direction of Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Cool.
And I think you've seen all these other games, so I mean, aside from Control, I think.
I've seen Control.
Okay. Oh wait, here I actually want to show you Grease as well. But you kind of contemplate which one you think is gonna win while I do this, fill the void.
Well, once again, it's like who's voting for this?
And it's hard because like look at Grease. Like Grease is such a beautiful looking game.
Yeah, really.
The game was gorgeous. And it's interesting because like this category is so subjective.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really hard to kind of vote. It's not hard to vote because you pick what you think looks cool. Like even if you haven't played the game, you're like, looks pretty.
I don't think Death Stranding looks cool as far as art direction. It looks like film.
Right. It looks close to reality, but it's not interesting and different.
Right.
I mean, interesting and different of like what's going on because
and Link's Awakening, while an interesting adaptation of the Zelda franchise, is also not anything that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, and I think we liked it because it was familiar. It was those old like the Christmas cartoons.
Yeah.
I was gonna give a date, but I didn't want to sound dumb. I was gonna say like 60s, but I have no idea what it actually was. But yeah, so I think my vote is definitely gonna be Grease. I loved just the art style. You were gonna pick Grease.
I'm gonna go with.
Plus, we need to get some indies and winning some categories.
Really,
you know, these big AAA's have had their.
I'm gonna go with Control. Because why not? Because I was gonna. I mean, all right. I'll go Sayonara Wild Hearts. A, you're right. Support indie developers, and B, it's a total crapshoot. I think Grease should win. So
it's not only that. Like I'll have to show you gameplay, but like the animation in this game is like so fluid and so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Best narrative: A Plague Tale, Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and The Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'd say Death Stranding because it went best narrative, even if you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Which is stupid, right? Like,
Right.
if your narrative doesn't actually tell people what's happening, it's still gonna win, though.
Right.
Because people are like, it's an experience, man. It's a story you have to live.
And it's weird because, like, Control's also just a weird game. Like, Control's like a game where it's like, it doesn't really make sense what's going on either. But, I mean, I think Death Stranding has been so much of a... So much of a mystery that people are just like, yeah. I think A Plague Tale is on Game Pass, too. Check that one out. I don't really remember what... No?
Is that what it looks like?
No, that's the one about oh gosh, totally blanking on the title. It's the one I was talking about where you and your friend go to hell and you have to outdrink Satan.
Yeah.
Which that game looks really fun, which is also on Game Pass. A Plague Tale, that's what I was gonna look up. A Plague of Tales. Tales Innocence. Yeah, so that's what this is like. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you're looking at it. This game looks beautiful, actually.
Oh, it does look really good. But once again, it's very realistic. But I mean, it's narrative, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, though.
It's got like 9s and 10s and 8s all over the board. You're first, so...
I'm going to go with A Plague Tale.
Okay. I'm not going to go with The Outer Worlds, even though I really want to, because I like The Outer Worlds. I don't know. The narrative's good. I don't know. I'm going to go with Death Stranding.
Okay.
Death Stranding's my choice.
Next category.
Best Game Direction. Control.
Shocking.
Death Stranding.
Shocker.
Resident Evil 2.
What?
Sekiro.
No.
Outer Wilds.
Well, you know what gets my whistle wet? Outer Wilds. All these big...
I didn't even know that Outer Wilds... I thought Outer Wilds just had one category that it was in. If it wins 2, indie and game direction?
He deserves it.
What do they mean by game direction, though? Like, in which direction is the game going?
No, like, I think the director, like, as far as, like, a director goes, like...
You think it's more like a director sense?
Yeah. A directorial sense. I don't know. Google it.
Best game direction. Fill the void with some ambient music. It's gonna take way too long for me to find the definition. Oh. Kyle's getting lightheaded over here. I don't know.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter. So it's a completely subjective category about which one of these games we think is better, and it's Outer Wilds for me because it's the what is happening?
It's hot in here, man.
Oh my god, I can see Jared's nipples. I'm gonna go Outer Wilds.
I think any category that has Outer Wilds, we both get to pick it though. That was the rule.
Yes.
I'm picking Outer Wilds
All right.
as well.
We both picked. And now we've arrived.
You've arrived at what you've all been waiting for.
The Game of the Year category, which
read us the nominees, guy.
Which entails games that we haven't heard so far: Control, Death Stranding, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Worlds.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
The only 2 categories Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well,
3.
They got family game. They got family game.
Did you just fart?
No.
Yes, you definitely did.
No.
I heard the air.
They got family game. They got fighting game and game of the year.
Which, again, by the way, Super Smash Bros. Came out in 2018, but it didn't make it into the running. I picked Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as the best game for 2019 that didn't come out in 2019. I don't know. It's hard because these are all like phenomenal games.
I would pick. Man.
This one's really hard because this is like the other categories are just like, oh, what looks the best or what had the best story, but this is like, what's the best game this year? Overall, over everything, what is the best game this year?
I don't think Outer Worlds, because if it's so close to Fallout. Sekiro is very possible.
But Sekiro is also just Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It's made by the
Resident Evil is a remake.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is
amazing. Remake. It was a sequel. Death Stranding, I really think it's going to win. So if you go Super Smash Bros., I'm going to go... I think Control was good.
No, I have to go to Outer Worlds because in the previous podcast I said Outer Worlds was going to win Game of the Year.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Outer Worlds.
And I'm going to go with Death Stranding, which is what I also said previously.
I don't think it'll be Smash as much as I would want it to be Smash.
Especially if this is a popularity contest. Death Stranding is so in the public zeitgeist currently
but the community is split down the middle. Some people are like, this is amazing, and some people are like, this is garbage. Like, there's not a lot of...
no one's talking about Resident Evil 2.
I mean, I guess you're right.
All right,
well, Death Stranding is relative because it just came out. Like, Resident Evil 2 came out in, like, May.
Yeah, but no one really talked. No one was surprised. Hey, we'll see.
So now...
we're going to talk about...
our list.
After a short break, we're going to talk about our list of games.
We'll see you in a hot closet second.
Hot closet second.
Welcome back. So in this segment, we have established a new tradition where we talked about the Game of the Year, Game Awards that are happening. But now we've compiled a list of games that we've played this year, for the most part. And we ordered them in an order that we thought were the best games, or what our Game of the Year is going to be, based off of the games that we've played. So, to jump right in it, we're going to start at the very bottom and then work our way up from there. So, Kai, what is your...
My of the
22
games
or so
that we played this year, my last place.
Oh, these games also haven't came out this year. Not all of them. These are games that we have experienced for the first time this year.
All right, I'm going to read out the list.
Okay, read the list of games in no particular order.
The list of games in no particular order is Outer Worlds, Borderlands 3, Blair Witch, Apex Legends, Titanfall 2, Hitman, Just Cause 4, Doom Story Mode, Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, The Outer Wilds, Max the Curse of Brotherhood, Kane and Lynch 2, Alien Isolation, Wolfenstein The New Order, Celeste, Red Dead Redemption 2, Crackdown 2, The Culling, Deadfall Adventures, Grow Up, Pokemon Shield, and Arcane. That's it.
Say Apex Legends?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it. Yeah, so those are all of the new games that we experienced this year. There's probably more, but next year I'm going to start documenting the games that we play.
Yeah.
But from what I can find, these are the games that we had played. So, starting in last place...
my last place game
which
is...
I don't think I'm going to be surprised.
Kane and Lynch 2.
Mine is also Kane and Lynch 2. If you played Kane and Lynch 2, you understand. But it is a terrible game. It's so bad. I want to meet someone that had like nostalgia for Kane and Lynch. They loved it. It's like third person over the shoulder, except the cameraman is just intoxicated the entire time. So his camera's moving all over the place.
And it's wildly racist.
It's so racist.
It's so
against
bad.
Asians specifically for some reason.
Yeah, and there's 3 games that I didn't play with Jared this year, which is Celeste, Crackdown 2, and Arcane. So I'm gonna leave those off of my list, and then Jared will fill those in.
Yeah, I'll fill them in where they lie
afterward. Yeah.
Yeah. So Doom and Pokemon, you're adding onto your
yes,
okay.
Doom and Pokemon I have on my list.
All right, perfect. Okay, so your next slot. So since you started with Kane and Lynch, I'll do mine. So my next game, so second to last, is Deadfall Adventures. Now, if you don't know what Deadfall Adventures is, and if your game isn't Deadfall Adventures, then I'll talk a little bit about Deadfall.
Yeah.
It's like if Indiana Jones was like a B film. It's really bad. I mean, even for like Xbox 360, like the shooting's terrible, the dialogue is awful. I might have like bad memories associated with it because I was like, man, I'm gonna play this game. It's only like 10 hours long. I can beat it. Worst 10 hours of my life. It was terrible. Bad game.
Mine was The Culling.
Interesting. I kind of enjoyed The Culling. Why?
I thought it was just a bad
Battle Royale game?
I
thought it was like something different. Like they kind of changed it up a little bit.
I think
we played
part of its problem is that it came out and I was like, nah. And then Apex came out and I was like, nah, I'm never going to play this ever again. I'm never going to touch this game.
That's fair. Also, just to know, I compiled this list of games that we had at least put like 5 hours into. Like we put at least a decent chunk into the game to give an opinion about it. I'm remember playing a lot of The Calling. I remember being like, this game's amazing! And then Apex came out, and I was like, this game's garbage! Okay, so my next one, and again, this is from the bottom up.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to put numbers in here or something. I didn't number mine. I just put it from the bottom up. If there's 22, this is 20?
What?
19?
Yes,
19.
it's 20.
I put Grow Up. And this one was hard because I really loved Grow Up, but it's kind of like when you're comparing it to every other game, it's like, okay, well, every time when I was making this list, I got a game, and I was like, did I like this better than all of these? No, then I put it here. Like, that doesn't mean Grow Up is a bad game. It's really short, again.
Yeah.
I was trying to play games that were really short. And it's fun. I just didn't love it as much as other games on this list.
I also put Grow Up.
Oh, hey. Perfect. Okay, what's your next one?
You're not gonna agree with this, but
Oh, no.
Pokemon Shield.
You bastard! I'm just kidding. You can have an opinion. Okay, give me your
I
Shield.
thought it was another Pokemon game, and
It
like,
didn't do anything crazy to surprise you.
yeah, and the Ice Cube Penguin was
It was
the last straw. It would have been, honestly, if I wouldn't have seen that one Pokemon, it would have been higher. But after that, I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, I can't believe that this is where we're at with a Pokemon game.
It's a curling block.
That makes it worse. And it's like the whole Dynamax, Gigantamax, Stadium, repetitive, poorly designed, empty open world, half Pokemon catching, no fixed free camera within a fixed camera within a free camera. I mean, there's so many glaring issues that they could have avoided if they just would have put some thought into it. I can't put it higher on the list. It is below Deadfall Adventures.
That's so sad. Deadfall.
I got more
garbage.
enjoyment out of Deadfall Adventures than I did out of Pokemon Shield.
That hurts my heart a little bit, but you're entitled to your opinion sometimes.
Sometimes, not this time.
For this slot, I actually put The Calling. Again, I enjoyed my time with The Calling. It just was bad timing, and it wasn't as good as all of these other games.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Right, you're up.
Next for me is Max: The Curse of Brotherhood. Again, good game. I was gonna say phenomenal, but it wasn't phenomenal. It was good. I mean, this was like a launch Xbox One title. It has a cute art style to it. It's fun. It's like this kid trying to save his little brother. He accidentally puts a spell on him because his little brother's annoying and sends him into a demon dimension and has to save him. But what I really loved is they introduced mechanics in the beginning of the game, and towards the end, they just play off of those mechanics really well, too. Yeah. So I liked it. It was good.
I put Deadfall Adventures because it was an atrocious game, but I liked that it linked to Indiana Jones a little bit. Like, it was fun, and I was kind of giving the benefit of the doubt of the time in which it came out. Yes, there were some things mechanically wrong with it, the shooting, but I liked the puzzles. Like, honestly, like, I had fun, like, especially like when we were crossing that like ice lake, and you got to shoot the rocket launcher to break the iceberg. Like, there were some redeeming parts. It had the essence of like GoldenEye, but if it was like slightly better graphics. But I mean, equally as hard to control the shooting ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I put Deadfall Adventures. And then for my next one, I put Doom. Doom.
Why?
I'm just not a big fan of Doom in the first place.
Right.
And I feel like there's other games on this list that...
It was better than Doom. Yeah, you enjoyed more than Doom.
Yeah. Specifically games like Wolfenstein and other first-person shooters where it was like... in comparison to how much enjoyment I got out of those and the story... I never got into Doom. And I played it with you a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just, I could not get into Doom, so. Yeah.
Mine's not very far from where yours is either, but I put Blair Witch on this slot. Really? I liked Blair Witch. It was really fun. I thought it was really an interesting game mechanically. We were stuck on that stupid like police car thing for so long.
Which I don't know if that was us or if it was just glitchy. Like,
it could have been just glitchy. I don't know. But we tried to figure out what to do. Like early on in the forest, we got to use a camera on the police car, and that shows like the person grabbing it. But I did like the mechanic of here's your camera, and you see like a memory, and it's kind of in the world in front of you. I mean, it was a horror game. There's a lot of games that I enjoy better that are similar. Like Outlast, I think is a better horror game than Blair Witch. Outlast is super fun. Layers of Fear, I thought that was a better horror game than Blair Witch was, but it was still good, just not as good as any of the other ones below it. So next, and this might be a little divisive for you, but I put Borderlands the pre-sequel.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean we're not super far off.
Right. So I didn't play as obviously much into this one as with 2 and 3. I mean, the problem with not playing a lot is because 3 came out, and then we just started playing 3 instead.
Yeah.
But one of the things, the mechanics I really didn't love is the oxygen thing. Like, having to manage... Unless you're Claptrap, which Kai was Claptrap, so he didn't have to worry about managing the oxygen. But if you're any of the other characters, you have to go to the little oxygen, towers to manage your oxygen and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't think it's going to be a bad game. But between that and Borderlands 3 coming out, it just got pushed to the back. And from what I played, it wasn't... I liked Borderlands 3 better than the pre-sequel. So
yeah. And mine was Max the Curse of the Brotherhood, which we already talked about.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good game. It was cute. It wasn't. Compared to the other games on this list, it wasn't anything spectacular.
And I'm pretty sure the people that made that game would be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
What's your next
one? All right, my number 11 pick is Blair Witch. So obviously we weren't too far off. I enjoyed that game, but as a horror game and as the other horror games we played, it wasn't anything. Once again, I think the mechanic of like the whole like video camera looking back in time is cool. It doesn't make sense or work properly a lot of the time. But I thought like, oh yeah, they got something going here. You know, people really like that game. We like scary games. We like horror games. So it was good. It just, it could have done a lot more, and it could have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah. So this is hilarious because I put Doom for this one. So from your Doom slot, I put Blair Witch, and for my wait, hold on. Yeah, for my Blair Witch spot, you put Doom. So I put Doom for this one. Again, I put story mode because I had played the multiplayer years ago when it first came out. But this was the first time I experienced the story mode, and I mean, I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's kind of like mindless shooting. You're running around shooting things. Heavy metal's going on in the background. It's not a game that takes a particular amount of deep thought. But I enjoy it. Gory, fun all the time. My next one, I put Titanfall 2.
Interesting. All right.
And I think this was one of the other ones that was like, I just liked Apex better, even though it's a different kind of game.
Yeah.
And I think I'm comparing this more to the story aspect. I think the multiplayer in Apex is better than Titanfall 2. In some instances, I like Team Deathmatch kind of better than the whole Battle Royale thing. But I wish like Apex had like a traditional story mode to it. That'd be really cool to explore that story, and I think that's why I like Titanfall 2 a lot. And that's what it did from the original one. It added a narrative to this world that they had created from the original Titanfall. But yeah, it was hard because I noticed as this list was going down, I was like, oh man, this is getting harder and harder to do. So I loved all these games going down from here. Like I enjoyed all the time that I had spent with it, for the most part.
Kane and Lynch 2.
But yeah, mine's Titanfall 2.
I chose Alien Isolation, which I liked it.
Oh, that's another horror game that I think is better than Blair Witch.
Yeah, both of us put it above Blair Witch, obviously. So, and Alien Isolation is a great game, but it can feel slow at times, and it's also like
it's because it can't have to be
you're
slow,
utilizing the same mechanics over and over again of like avoiding and being quiet, and like there's not really a story that's keeping you that involved, so it's just like finding things and
what was going on in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, that's super cool, but at the same time it's like it gets old. So it wound up at slot 10, which is commendable in the 22 slot, games list of this year that it wound up at, slot 10. So
okay, what's your next one?
Number 9 is Borderlands the pre-sequel. Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about it, but I really like Borderlands. I got to play as Claptrap. I honestly feel that I had a more enjoyable time playing the pre-sequel than I did of 3, but I think 3 is a better game.
Yeah. Interesting. For this slot, I put Hitman.
All right.
Yeah, I played a lot of the older ones, like Absolution and some of the ones on PS2 and stuff like that, and PS3. And I mean, I enjoyed it. It's a fun game. There's kind of not a lot to say about it. some levels that you play, I do really stealthy approaches, and some that I always want to do stealth, but it never works out, and then I'm like, screw it, and I just start shooting everybody, and then that's what it ends up being. Another game that's relatively short. I think I'm only a couple levels off, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. My next one, which I'm curious to see where you put this game. Mine's Red Dead Redemption 2.
We're close.
Okay. So I mean, it is a big gap between Red Dead and Red Dead 2. So there's a lot of time in between that. A lot of games came out. A lot of games did kind of what Red Dead did.
Yeah.
Better, or Rockstar made better games like that, like Grand Theft Auto 5, because they're the ones that make all these games that are successful. I think Kai had put it pretty well, where it was too big and too pretty, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wasn't really invested into the story. I wanted to. It's like I really wanted to explore, and the game's like, no. I want you to listen to the story. And I was like, I want to explore, but like, no, the story. And I was like,
and then once you like finally get to a point where you explore, the fact that you haven't listened to the story means you have nothing interesting, right. And then you're just a man in the wilderness, and you're like, this is boring.
And then I wanted to do the online, and I was like, I just want to jump into this world and like play online, like. I mean, I know GTA Online had a little bit of narrative going in when you first start, but it's very story-oriented. And I was like, I just want to run around. I want to hog-tie an old lady to train tracks. That's why I play these games. And it was disappointing because it was like a big title, Red Dead Redemption 2, and it just didn't live up to my expectations.
So mine is Just Cause 4, because it didn't do anything differently than Just Cause 3 other than adding weather. Yeah. And where it is an incredibly fun game to play, and in a lot of aspects has some things that maybe even challenge Grand Theft Auto's abilities. At the same time, it still has like an incredible amount of lag when you're trying to blow things up. The weapon system is atrocious. The jetpack is incredibly fun, but it's not really even part of the main story. It's like a side mission you have to do to get it anyway. They clearly focused more on being able to destroy stuff than they did on how the game actually functions mechanically, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Just Cause 4 ended up in my number 8 slot, but... Yeah.
What's the next one?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, that wasn't very far off.
I think Red Dead is a better game than Just Cause 4, which is why I put it at 7. And I think it is because it is beautiful. It is an achievement. But when you open a game with an hour-long hand-holding, not even like a tutorial, just an hour-long story opener.
Right.
Like what are you doing? You built this beautiful world.
It's hard.
You built this gorgeous world, and you're gonna make me walk through snow for the first hour, and then when I actually get into the world, it's like you fleshed out 1/8 of the world. And I understand that that's how it would actually be, and like, yeah, great, you created something that represents the real world where most of it is empty, but like at the same time, that's not how games work. I don't want to have to walk 7 minutes to get to the next town in game time. Yeah.
For this slot, I put Wolfenstein: The New Order. I loved Wolfenstein. It was a great game. I thought the story was really I mean, when it first came out a while ago, because there's been 2 sequels since it came out, but I had just experienced it for the first time this year. But the story was cool. I mean, I play on like, hey, if Nazis won the war, this would be our reality kind of thing. The gunplay was fun. I thought the facial rendering and the graphics looked good for the time the game came out, and I liked the voice acting too. So I enjoyed it. There wasn't really anything bad. And this is a game that we played together, so it was really fun to just experience this game together too.
I put Hitman for this slot.
Okay, Hitman.
Which I thought was actually a really good game.
Yeah. And
I thought it was really fun. And the couple of levels that I played kept me interested story-wise. I got to throw a rock star off of a roof. I mean, what's more fun than that? The mechanics are really cool because they kind of do the sneaking mechanic, but in a different, more interesting way that I think a lot of games do. And
the whole disguise thing and everything.
Yeah, I really actually enjoyed playing Hitman, so well done. I then put Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a phenomenal game. I thought the story was great. By far, favorite character is the Jimi Hendrix guitar player who's at the bass.
He dies, by the way.
What?
I said he dies, by the way.
Yes, no spoilers. He dies. Everyone dies in that game though, so it's okay. I think it's a compelling story. I think it's a really interesting idea. I think it's, what's more fun than killing Nazis?
That last boss was hard for no reason. Like the game was like pretty adequate, like it's fine, and then like last boss is like a huge difficulty jump, and I was like, I did like 20 times before I beat him.
We're in the top 5 now. All right, what'd you put?
I put Just Cause 4. Okay. At first, I didn't like Just Cause 4. It looked like a reskin of 3 with weather again. But the more I played it, the more I started enjoying it more and more. And then when I found the time to go back and play either one of them, I kept going back to 4 instead of 3. Mm-hmm. And they changed it mechanically a little bit. Like you can actually like scope in with left trigger and shoot now and stuff like that. There's a couple other mechanical things that they changed in the game to make it better than 3. But content-wise and artistically and visually, it is just 3 with a couple different things here. The weather is more of an annoyance than anything else. So, but that was mine. It was Just Cause 4.
Mine was Titanfall 2. I thought Titanfall 2 was an excellent game, and if Apex hadn't come out, it probably would have been higher on my list.
Yeah.
But because Apex came out,
because Apex exists,
it wound at my number 5, which is apparently your number 7. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So I think it was a fantastic game. I think mechanically it functions really well. It plays really well. Mech suits are awesome. Like that's just a really cool. And I think a game that adds both bots and multiplayer online play is an interesting concept that was really fun.
Okay, so my next one after I said Just Cause 4 was Alien Isolation. Right. So I really loved Alien Isolation. Again, we really love horror games. But I think this game, like, we don't really necessarily get like scared too much. I think I enjoy those experiences, but Alien Isolation, like,
is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Like,
it doesn't have to do jump scares, but the fact that like this thing is chasing you and hunting you, and you don't. There's no combat. Like you hide. You're hiding in this game. I mean, a little bit comes in a little later, but I think this game was legitimately terrifying. And I thought like when it came out, it looked like beautiful. Like, it was a gorgeous looking game too. But yeah. What's your next one?
My next game was Borderlands 3.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it's up there.
Right.
It's in, the top category, but it's definitely not the best game I played this year. It's not even the best top 3 games I played this year.
Yeah.
It was a good game, and, like, my nostalgia for Borderlands 2 really carried me through.
Yeah.
And, like,
I would say that
I think they focused on the wrong things. I think they focused on giving us more guns, which, like, whether you have 100,000 or 1 billion, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, at that point, I mean, I wouldn't have seen 100,000 guns.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna see 1 billion guns.
So it's like, I give them props for the side quests that are very interesting and fleshed out, but the story, which is kind of the fun part of those games, the quirkiness, the weirdness, it was lacking, and they need to figure that out. So
yeah,
that's
unfortunate.
What about you?
Is this my next one or my one for this slot?
This is your next one.
Okay. My next one after Alien Isolation is Borderlands 3.
There you go. So we're the same.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, same. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was nearly as fun as 2. But it was good.
All right, you're up.
My next one is, and this might be a little divisive, The Outer Wilds. For these next ones, it's just like, which one did I enjoy more? Because all of these next games are phenomenal. Yeah. They're amazing games. But I loved The Outer Wilds. When we finally decided to try it out and play it, and like we got into it, and we like found out the mechanics, we were like looking at the walkthrough and stuff like that. Even with the walkthrough, like some of the stuff is really hard to do.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like, oh, go and do this. It's like you have to do timing, and you have to. There's a lot of mechanical work to it too.
Yeah.
And even though it's just a game that has like these couple small worlds, it has the No Man's Sky aesthetic as where you can leave planets with your ship. But it was beautiful. It was probably like one of my favorite games that I had played this year. Best indie game, definitely. I really hope it wins Best Indie Game because Outer Wilds was amazing. And just the score, too. Like, the music in that game was just beautiful. Yeah, what's your...
Outer Worlds. So, where you put Outer Wilds, I put Outer Worlds. I think it's a phenomenal game. I just don't think it branched far enough off of where Fallout 4 left off. And I think that, yes, it has a very interesting... interaction system with the characters, the computer generated characters in the game, but past that from what I've seen a lot of it at this point, but from what I've seen, it doesn't do anything more than Fallout ever did, which is why it's like, yeah, it's super fun, but so is Fallout. So I'm gonna put it at that.
What's your next one?
My number 2. So, and really these next two could be a tie, honestly, is The Outer Wilds. Mm-hmm. The Outer Wilds was probably personally my favorite game of the year that I will most likely go back to, and I enjoy it, but it's not the best game on the list, and so that's the only reason it ended up at slot number 2.
My slot number 3, for some reason, I don't think it really matters at this point, but I put Outer Worlds for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but this game came out when I was kind of itching to play an RPG, and I mean, I can attest that I did not want to play Fallout 4, and when I did play Fallout 4, I was like, I hate this game.
Yeah, he's a baby about the Fallout series, except for New Vegas. So.
For some reason, this like had slid in at the perfect time, and I had enough. It engaged me early on. I'm still clearly like 12 hours in or so. But yeah, I love The Outer Worlds. It's super fun. I was needing an RPG to play. I was like, I want it. So yeah.
All right. You're up with your second.
Okay, so my number 2 is Pokemon Shield. So
again, I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened either. Because again, the games that I didn't include, I didn't talk about those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, everything that Kai had said is true about the game. I mean, some are personal opinions and some are legitimately concerns of the game. The wild area, the outer wild. The wild area being very...
Too many wild things.
Being very bland. And as much as I really love the Pokemon in the overworld, the wild area just doesn't do much. I would say the best part of the wild area is the camera. And so much so that when I actually went back into the town after you first get into the wild area, I tried moving the camera around. So I think just adding that to the rest of the game would have made it phenomenally better to me. But I love Pokemon. And I didn't see, again, I went in blind in this game, so I didn't know a lot of the new Pokemon, so experiencing these new Pokemon for the first time, new evolutions, new forms and stuff like that, I enjoyed it. I just beat it today, or finished the story rather. I know there's a lot more after
He beat it. It ended.
I got the credits at the end, but there's more to do after.
It ended. That's when games end. You can be a completionist if you want to. That's the end of the game.
It's not a completionist. There's more like story that happens after the credits.
The game ended.
Okay,
then call it an expansion. The game ended.
Okay, the game ended. I beat the game. I enjoyed every minute of it. I loved it.
No, it is the only game on our list where we are at all far apart.
Right.
For the most part, our lists are near identical, but Pokemon, we have a very different experience.
And our number 1, which I think is
the
same.
Both of our number 1 is exactly the same.
Legends.
Apex Legends.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I think we have put more time this year into Apex Legends than any of these games.
And I looked up, because we played a lot of Apex. I looked up when Apex came out. It came out February 4th. So it's almost been out for a year now, and we've put so much time into Apex
We've put
Legends.
so much time
into Apex. And the game has changed drastically from when it came out. Aesthetically, mechanically, all of that. It's Respawn and EA has done an incredible job with Apex Legends, and I really hope to see continued support with it. But Apex Legends is probably my favorite game. This was hard. This was a hard one because Pokemon. I love Pokemon.
If you put Pokemon at number 1, I'd lose all respect for you as a
though.
gaming podcast host.
I didn't. I actually, I had juggled between it being 2 and 3. So I was going to put Outer Wilds at 2, Apex, Outer Wilds, Pokemon. But
I couldn't do that to Pokemon.
I think because of nostalgia and because of all that, I loved my time with Outer Wilds too. But Pokemon is something that's near and dear to my heart, so I think because of that, it got that number 2 slot. But I think I enjoyed my time so much more with Apex Legends.
The game that I accidentally left off is Grow Up, and it was somewhere in the middle for me.
Oh, you didn't put it in Grow Up. Okay, so for me, the games that I had, so there's 22 here, and the games I left out were Crackdown 2, Arcane, and Celeste. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Oh, wait. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. So Crackdown 2 is at number 17. I liked Crackdown 2, but again, it was a game that I was just trying to get through and trying to play through. It's kind of
There was a time earlier this year when Jared was less concerned with how good the game was, but with how quickly he could beat a series of games.
Yeah.
So that ended up...
I remember playing a lot of the beta when it came out when I was a kid. It's the GTA clone. It was fun, but it wasn't great. After that, so that's 17, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Number 10 is a Kane, which I didn't expect this game to be that good. I don't even know if you've seen me play this game before. But it's a small little indie game. It was like $2 on sale on the Switch. And essentially what it is you play this like female samurai swordsman chick, and you're in an arena and you're just fighting off waves of enemies. And you get different swords and different abilities. You can dash, you can parry, you can block bullets and stuff like that. You have a gun. But essentially it's like, how far can you go? Like you fight like waves of 50 enemies and stuff like that. And it's like a boss between here. But it's top down and everything. And it's really like, it gets to the point where it's a lot of just, not memorizing, but like doing button commands like at the right time, like parrying at the right time and dodging at the right time. And I remember I bought it when... I think we were on vacation or something in Indio, not us, me and my wife, but I played it so much during that time. It was so fun. And the last game that I had left out was Celeste. So if that was number 10, Celeste is at number 7. So Celeste is between Alien Isolation and Borderlands 3. I loved Celeste. Celeste was a great game. I think it was cool because this was one of the, not first, but one of the front runners on like games that dived into anxiety and mental disorders and stuff like that. And it was a fun platformer. It was one of those platformers where it's like you learn by failure. So you do a pain or you do like a section of the level over and over again until you figure out what you're supposed to do, and then you get that right and you do that over and over again, which some people absolutely hate, but I thought it was fun. Towards the end, it got really hard. So there's like a thing in the game where you can change the difficulty where you just never take damage. You get like unlimited jumps. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do that. And I enjoyed it. So, yeah.
That is our list of games that we played this year, the order in which we enjoyed them or which we thought they affected us emotionally the most. Yeah, it's been a crazy year, and it's coming to a close.
Next year,
we're going to actually...
more condensed list. Not condensed list, but more organized list.
More organized list. Accurate list.
Right.
I know there are games that we left off of this.
Probably, yeah.
So
Marlo Briggs.
We left off Super Mario Party. We left off that samurai game that we played for like 6 hours straight.
One Strike?
One Strike.
We played a lot of One Strike.
Those would not have ended up high on my list, though, so it doesn't really matter to me.
No.
Maybe Mario Party.
Party would be
Mario Party is like, it's a classic.
We played a lot of Mario Party, though. Like when we first got it, there was a ton of
Mario
Mario Party.
And then, do you count playing, like we played a lot of Smash Bros. This year? Does that count? We played a lot of Mario Kart. Does that count?
I mean, Smash isn't running for the game of the year, so...
You know?
I don't know.
All right. Well,
got for you.
Until next time.
What's your game of the year?
Yeah. Comment, respond, Reddit us below, above, or to the right.
Is that the right verbiage? Reddit?
I don't know. Anyway, stay classy, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Bye.